All right, I had to move things inside because it's been raining for about a week or a week and a half now, and I'm just showing you a little eye candy here. It's a nice 1275 Cooper S engine in my 69 Cooper S. Anyway, let's talk about budget. It's not unlimited. I don't have deep pockets, but things have to be done. So brakes, hide means hydraulics. So obviously calipers, I'm going to rebuild them. I have 7.5-inch brakes for it, just brakes for the front, drum brakes for the back. With the wheel cylinders, I just buy them new. It's not worth rebuilding them. The calipers they can be pricey. So I'm rebuilding them, or they are rebuilt actually already. The master cylinder for both the clutch and the brakes are done. Pads, shoes, and springs, all that's going to be new. Get into suspension, your cones, your seals, bearings, bushings, everything. Change it all. You got to start fresh. Body, we're going to talk about that in a second. Interior, seats, I don't know what I'm going to do yet. Probably something comfortable. This is my wife's car. She's going to be driving it around. Want her to be comfortable. Seat belts, absolutely, you got to be safe. We got kids, they're going to be in the back, so I'm going to put all the seat belts in and everything. Wearing items, so like tires, belts, hoses. Tires I'll get at the very end. I'll just make sure that they have them in stock for when I want them, and I'll just pick them up at the end. I don't like tires sitting around. Belts and hoses, I've already got all that stuff. Wiring, okay, we're gonna go new with a new harness there. It's the best way to go. You wanna cut out all the phantom things that happen in your car. It's best to go with a new wiring harness. And once your car's done and you cheaped out on the wiring harness, it goes up in smoke. It's not always a good thing. Never is. Anyway, back to body. Stuff has to be done. It's got to be safe. I'm lucky with that body. It's quite clean. There is rocker repair on one side, and I got to look at the rocker repair that has been done on the other side, and we'll just clean up those welds. And then there's a spot in the trunk needs addressing. Obviously needs a patch in there. We're going to do that as well. So timeline, well, as soon as possible. We want to be driving this thing around. We have a big show, which is in September of next year, which will be 2022. And I like to have it there. So I like to see my wife drive in it. But what affects my timeline is both weather and availability of both parts and my time. Parts, I don't think we're gonna have an issue with. My time, I've got time set aside to do this project, and it all depends on a lot of weather. And you're like, how does weather affect them? Well, I do all my welding outside, all my heavy grinding and everything outside, heavy sanding and stuff like that. I don't like to do it inside. It's too smelly and it's not good for you to breathe all that. So that's my choice, and I am in Canada here. We get several feet of snow during the winter, so you can hear my voice cracking just saying the word snow. Like, yeah, it's coming. But hopefully I'm gonna have all the floors done this year before winter hits, and then I'm gonna also fit the subframes into the car. Let me have a look around here while I'm talking. Make sure the subframes fit well, and then I can build subframes, and then it's a matter of putting subframes in the car and then everything else. So that's where we stand. Okay, here we are. This is the 64 Cooper S, true barn find in Canada. And we'll have a look underneath. we are in the engine bay. I sort of scraped half, so I did from here to here and gave it a little scrape just to see what it will look like. And that's unscraped over there. See the big flakes of rust there ready to come off. But once you do that, this is what it looks like. Knocked out the floor plugs. They're still in there. And this one had undercoating on it. So you can see the undercoating. So I didn't scrape here yet, or there. I did scrape this one. You can see it's pretty clean, surprisingly. These are all original floors, other than right here, you can see a welt. And I'm gonna say this is from the racing days. Something happened, a little mishap. There's the other end here. So obviously you had to replace that bit. You can see other, if you look along here, you can see other wows and uh-ohs and stuff like that that had happened over the years. That's the roll bar plate. The jacking points. So, you know, it looks pretty good. This is the trunk floor, obviously. And that's something, it looks like it's been cut out because this is not rot. It's not a patch. That's previous use of some kind. The same with this hole here. It's been cut and folded back. So. And again, something happened there, but hey, that's all part of racing. Then we get up into, I haven't cleaned up this half yet. So here we are. This would be the passenger side, or the right side. We're underneath the car. And yeah, they look pretty rusty. I did this one here. I gave it a quick scrape just to see what it'll look like. But you know what? They're pretty good. And that tunnel too. Surprising for a Canadian car. And look at these seams. Wow. And yeah, absolutely gonna need a few patches. This area is looking pretty sketchy. You know, just do that. And where the A panels are, pretty common. But you know, these are pretty solid. I grabbed them and they do not move still. This part's really common to go and has lived up to its reputation. Very nice. Here's the trunk area, and you can see that it's just got all this undercoating and dirt. There it is. There's the original paint, that blue. Wow. So, yep, I'm gonna have to replace a little bit here. Here, I'll just put in, I'll make up a patch panel. It's easy enough. Maybe the battery box, looking a little rough there. But where it really counts, you know, it's good and solid. Down in here where the subframe bolts on. And again, over here, covered in debris, but yeah, nice and solid. You look in the wheel well here. This is where they split it to put bigger wheels on it. So they just split it, hammered it down a bit, put a little fiberglass on it to cover up the splits. Good to go. But I'll make little wedges or something, or just weld them up if I can. The gap's not too big. Make it a little more solid. Yeah, very nice. Okay, here we are at the end of the day. And I took a DA and I took a sander to it, sanding block, and just gave it a quick sand. When I say quick sand, it was probably an hour. And just went over everything. Just see what's keepable, what needs to be replaced. Obviously in here, Gonna be putting a patch. That's not a big deal. Just look at the rest of it. Amazing. Amazing for a Canadian car. I just did a little work on that. A little bit more to go, but it had a huge dent in there before. And same, I popped that one out. That was on that tail light. There's a big dent there, a big gouge in here. Hammered that out, just roughly for now. Did the battery box, I just gave it a quick sand, and you know what, it's not too bad. There's the worst spot, right there. Yeah. Yeah. Gave the other side a quick sand. Knocked out the floor pan a bit, or was bumped in. There's a firewall. And I just played around with this front piece here, took all the Bondo out of it, and again, started working on getting those dents out, but not too hard. Just working mostly on the floor today. Alright, that's my progress today. Alright, we'll have a look at the inside here. And I'm looking at these rear floors and thinking, wow, you know, those are really clean. Take it under there, and I can see a bunch of flake of paint there, but it doesn't look like there's a hole. We'll scrape it in a minute. Again, you know, lots of rust, but it all seems to be surface. I noticed they cut the hole for the roll bar out of the pocket there. Rocker doesn't look too bad, but once you start scraping, who knows what you're going to uncover. Floor again has rust on it, not so bad. And then this driver sill, it looks pretty bad there. Definitely needs attention. But in the big scale, that's small. See that plate that goes under there. That's another way of telling this is a Cooper S. They have a removable plate there, from what I understand anyway. Very good. All right, well, just give it a scrape and see what happens. I'm in between clouds here, so let's see. All right, here we go. I gave it a quick scrub. Used a little bit of cleaner, a little citrus cleaner. But the amazing part is where you see the blue is the original paint. Look at that. And there's a spot behind here that definitely needs attention. But really the rest of the floor, like this still shines here. And that. And the reasoning, I believe, might be, is used it as a race car. You pull the carpets out of it, and it's sat cleaned up after each race, getting prepared for the next race. And look at those amazing floors. Unbelievable. I gotta do the other side, but it's already getting dark. Calling it a night.